Hello, my friend. Welcome back. If you are here right now, if you pressed play on this video, then something inside you wanted to grow today. Something inside you said, yes, I want to learn. I want to improve. I want to keep going. And I want you to know that is enough. That is more than enough. Just being here, just pressing play, that already makes you someone special. So take a breath right now, a slow, gentle breath, and let yourself arrive. Let yourself be here fully, because today we are going to do something beautiful together. Today's lesson is called The Genius of Leonardo da Vinci. And before we go deeper into that world, I want you to feel something first. I want you to feel that learning English is not a race. It is not a test. It is not something you can fail at. Learning English is a journey, and today we are walking that journey together, slowly, calmly, with no rush at all. So, let's begin. I want to start by asking you something simple. Have you ever felt like you were not smart enough? Have you ever looked at someone else, a classmate, a colleague, a friend, and thought to yourself, they are so talented, they are so clever, but me? I am just ordinary. I am just average. I am just normal. If you have felt that way, then I want you to stay with me today, because the story we are going to explore, the story of Leonardo da Vinci, is not just about a genius who lived 500 years ago. It is a story about what happens when a curious person refuses to stop asking questions. It is a story about someone who felt different, someone who was told in many quiet ways that he did not belong, and yet he became one of the greatest minds in all of human history. And maybe, just maybe, his story has something to teach us today, not just about history, not just about art or science, but about us, about you, about the way you are learning English right now, with courage and with patience, even when it feels difficult. Even when the words feel heavy, even when your mouth feels slow, you are doing something brave, my friend. And today, I want to help you feel that. So let us slow down and begin. Let me teach you a word first. The word is curious. Curious. Say it with me slowly. Curious. Now say each part. Q, re, us. Curious. When someone is curious, it means they always want to know more. They look at the world and they say, why? How? What is that? What does that mean? Tell me more. A curious child touches everything. A curious student reads one more page. A curious person never really gets bored because everywhere they look, they see a question waiting to be answered. And Leonardo da Vinci was perhaps the most curious person who ever lived. Not the most powerful, not the most confident, not the most organized, but curious? Oh, beyond anything we can imagine. He was curious about birds and why they could fly. He was curious about water and how it moved and swirled and danced. He was curious about the human body, about the bones and muscles hidden beneath our skin. He was curious about light, about how it falls softly on a face in a dark room. He was curious about everything. And that curiosity, that never-ending need to understand, that is what made him a genius. Not special powers, not a perfect life, not luck, just curiosity and the courage to follow it. So I want to ask you again, my friend, are you curious? Are you curious about English? About the sounds and the rhythm and the way words fit together like pieces of a puzzle? Are you curious about the world, about history and science and art, and the stories of real people who lived and loved and struggled just like you? If you are, then you already have something in common with Leonardo da Vinci, and that is a wonderful place to start. Now let me slow down even more for a moment. I want to practice something with you, a real phrase, a natural English phrase. something you can use in your everyday life. The phrase is, I have always wondered. I have always wondered. Repeat slowly after me. I have always wondered. Take a breath. I have always wondered. Now say it with me. I have always wondered. Beautiful. I have always wondered is a phrase we use when we want to say, there is something I have been curious about for a long time, something I think about, something my mind keeps returning to. For example, you might say, I have always wondered why the sky is blue, or I have always wondered what it feels like to speak English fluently, or I have always wondered if I could be better than I think I am. That last one, I want you to sit with that one for a moment. I have always wondered if I could be better than I think I am. Say it with me one more time. I have always wondered if I could be better than I think I am. Yes. And the answer, my friend, is always yes. The answer is always, always yes. Now let me tell you something about where Leonardo was born. He was born in the year 1452. That is a very long time ago, more than 570 years. The world was so different then. There were no cars, no phones, no electricity, no internet. People traveled by horse. They read by candlelight. They wrote with feathers dipped in ink. He was born in a small town in Italy. The town was called Vinci, and his name, Leonardo da Vinci, simply means Leonardo from Vinci, Leonardo of the town of Vinci. Isn't that interesting? His name was not a title of greatness. It was not a symbol of power. It was just where he came from. A little town, a countryside surrounded by hills and olive trees and the soft golden light of Tuscany. Perseverance means you keep going, even when it is hard, even when it hurts, even when you fall down and the ground feels cold and you're not sure you can stand up again. You keep going. You take one more step. You try one more time. Perseverance is not about being strong all the time. That is a very important thing to understand, because sometimes people think being persistent means never feeling tired, never feeling afraid, never doubting yourself. But that is not true. Perseverance is what happens when you feel tired and you rest, and then you continue. When you feel afraid and you breathe, and then you continue. When you doubt yourself and you sit with that feeling gently, and then you continue. That is real perseverance. And Leonardo da Vinci had it in incredible amounts. He had it on the hard days. He had it on the quiet days when nothing seemed to be working. He had it even when the great man of his time looked at him with uncertainty, not quite sure what to make of this strange, brilliant, endlessly curious man. He had perseverance. And my friend, so do you, because you are here, right now, learning English, practicing, listening, trying. That is perseverance. Repeat slowly after me. I am patient with myself. Take a breath. I am patient with myself. Now say it with me. I am patient with myself. Yes. One more time. I am patient with myself. Hold on to that phrase today. Carry it with you. When English feels difficult, when words feel slippery, when your tongue does not cooperate, come back to those 5 words. I am patient with myself. And in that little town, a boy was born. A boy who would one day change the world. But here is what most people do not know. Leonardo was not born into a respected family. He was what people of that time called illegitimate. That is a complicated English word. Let me explain it gently. It means his mother and father were not married. And in those days, in that time and place, that was considered something shameful, something to be hidden, something to feel embarrassed about. He did not have the same rights as other children. He could not inherit his father's name in the full legal way. He could not enter certain professions that required a proper family background. Doors were closed to him before he even had a chance to knock. And yet, he walked through anyway. Not through anger, not through bitterness, but through that same quiet, unstoppable curiosity we talked about. He picked up a brush. He picked up a pencil. He filled notebooks with questions and drawings and ideas. And slowly, the world began to notice. Let me give you a word now that I love very much. The word is perseverance. Perseverance. Say it with me. Perseverance. Now slowly. Per-se-ver-ence. Perseverance. Now, I want to take you somewhere. Close your eyes if you can, or simply soften your gaze, and let me paint a picture for you with words. Imagine a young man. He is about 14 years old. He is living in Florence, Italy. Florence in the 1460s is one of the most alive, most electric, most beautiful cities in the world. Art is everywhere. Music fills the streets. The greatest thinkers and painters and sculptors of the age are all gathered in this one extraordinary city. And this young man, this Leonardo, has just become an apprentice. Do you know that word, apprentice? An apprentice is someone who learns a skill by working closely with a master. A master, that is someone who is already excellent at what they do. So an apprentice learns by watching, by practicing, by doing small tasks, by making mistakes, by trying again. Leonardo has become an apprentice to a man named Andrea del Verrocchio. Verrocchio is one of the most respected artists in all of Florence, a painter, a sculptor, a goldsmith. His workshop is full of talented young men, all learning the ancient crafts of art and beauty. And Leonardo walks into that workshop, and something changes. Not immediately, not dramatically, not in a single explosive moment, but slowly, day by day, brush stroke by brush stroke. He begins to see things the other apprentices cannot see. He watches how light falls on a surface and asks, why does it fall that way? He watches how fabric drapes over a human shoulder and asks, what is the exact shape of that fold? He watches how a bird moves through the air and asks, what force allows it to rise? He does not just learn to paint, he learns to see, to truly, deeply see. And seeing, my friend, is a skill. It is something we practice. It is something we develop. It is not something we are simply born with. Just like listening in English is a skill. You are practicing it right now as you hear my voice and your brain works quietly to understand each word. You are developing the skill of seeing in English, of truly hearing, of understanding not just the words, but the feeling behind them. And that takes time and patience and love. Let me slow down with another phrase now. This phrase is little by little. Little by little. Repeat slowly after me. Little by little. Take a breath. Little by little. Now say it with me. Little by little. This is one of the most comforting phrases in the English language. And I say comforting, that means it makes you feel better. It soothes you. It quiets the worried part of your mind. Little by little means slowly, over time, things improve, things change, things grow. Not all at once, not in a rush, but gradually, gently, steadily. Leonardo did not paint the Mona Lisa in one afternoon. He worked on it for years. Some say he worked on it for as long as 16 years. Returning to it, adding a small detail here, adjusting the light there, looking, thinking, feeling, painting. Little by little. And your English is the same. Every word you learn today stays with you.
Every phrase you practice builds something inside your mind. Every time you listen to a slow, calm voice like this, your brain is growing. Your ear is becoming more sensitive. Your confidence is quietly, steadily, beautifully growing. Little by little, my friend. Little by little. Now I want to tell you something that always moves me deeply when I think about it. Leonardo da Vinci kept notebooks. Many, many notebooks. Thousands and thousands of pages. Pages filled with drawings and notes and questions and observations. In those notebooks, you can find almost anything. You can find detailed drawings of machines he imagined, flying machines, machines for digging tunnels, machines for lifting heavy stones. Some of these machines were so advanced, so far ahead of his time, that they were not actually built until hundreds of years after he died. Hundreds of years. He was drawing the future. You can also find anatomical drawings in his notebooks. Anatomical, that means related to the body. Leonardo was fascinated by the human body. He would study and draw muscles and veins and bones with extraordinary precision. Precision means with great accuracy and attention to detail. And here is something truly remarkable. In order to draw the human body so accurately, Leonardo actually studied real human bodies. He worked with doctors, and he was allowed to examine the bodies of people who had died in order to understand exactly how the body was built inside. This was not a comfortable or easy thing to do. It required courage. It required dedication. Dedication means a deep, serious commitment to something, a willingness to do difficult things because you believe in your goal. He believed in understanding. He believed in truth. He believed that if you really wanted to draw something beautifully, you first had to understand it completely. And so he did.
He understood the body. He understood light. He understood water. He understood plants and rocks and rivers and the shapes of storms. And from that understanding, that deep, patient, disciplined understanding, came beauty, came art, came genius. I believe in my own progress. I believe in my own progress. Now say it with me. I believe in my own progress. Yes. And one more time, slowly. I believe in my own progress. That sentence, my friend, is one of the most powerful sentences you can carry in your heart. Not I am already perfect, not I have no more to learn, but I believe in my own progress. I believe that I am moving forward, slowly perhaps, imperfectly certainly, but forward, always forward. Now, let me take you into a deeper story. I want you to imagine a room. It is a large room in a church in Milan, Italy. The year is around 1495. The walls are bare stone. The light comes through high windows and falls in long, quiet columns across the floor. A man stands before a long wall. He is in his early 40s now. He is tall, they say, handsome, with long hair and a beard that has begun to show threads of gray. He stands very still, looking at the empty wall. In his mind, he can already see it. The image is complete. He can see the long table draped in white. He can see the 13 figures seated around it. He can see the light and the shadow and the emotion on every face. He is about to begin painting what will become one of the most famous images in all of human history, the Last Supper.
Now let me explain something gently. The Last Supper is a painting based on a moment from the Bible. It shows Jesus Christ seated at a table with his 12 closest followers on the night before a very significant and painful event in the story. It is a moment of deep emotion, of love and fear and sorrow and mystery all mixed together. And Leonardo wanted to capture all of that, every single feeling, in paint, on a wall. He worked on this painting for about 3 years. 3 years. And during those 3 years, he would sometimes arrive at the wall early in the morning and simply stand there for hours, just looking, not painting, just looking and thinking and feeling. The people who commissioned the painting, the people who paid for it and wanted it finished, they grew frustrated. They would come to him and say, "Why are you not working? Why are you just standing there?" And Leonardo would answer calmly, gently, "I am working. I am thinking. I am preparing."
Because he knew something very important. He knew that the act of creation, the act of making something real and true and beautiful, does not always look like movement. It does not always look like busy hands. Sometimes it looks like stillness, like patience, like a person standing quietly in front of an empty wall, waiting for the right moment to begin. And when the moment came, when his brush finally met the wall, what he created was extraordinary. A painting of such emotional power, such psychological depth, such incredible beauty, that 500 years later, people still travel from every corner of the world just to stand before it, just to be in the same room, just to feel something. Let me give you an English phrase now that connects to this story. The phrase is, take your time. Take your time. Repeat slowly after me. Take your time. Take a breath. Take your time. Now say it with me. Take your time. Take your time is something we say to someone when we want them to know there is no rush. Go at your own speed. Move at the pace that is right for you. A kind teacher says take your time when a student is thinking. A patient friend says take your time when you are trying to find the right words. And I am saying it to you right now in this moment as you listen and learn and grow. Take your time. There is no English exam waiting at the end of this video. There is no red pen marking your mistakes. There is only you and your curiosity and the beautiful, slow, unfolding process of learning. Take your time. I want to talk to you now about something that I think is very important and very misunderstood. I want to talk about the notebooks again, but this time I want to focus on something specific, something personal, something that tells us a great deal about what it means to be human. Leonardo da Vinci had thousands and thousands of ideas. We know this from his notebooks. He imagined machines, inventions, artworks, theories, buildings, cities. He wrote and drew endlessly. And yet, many of those ideas were never completed. Many paintings were started and never finished. Many inventions were drawn but never built. Many theories were written and then abandoned, at least for a time. For a long time, historians and critics looked at this pattern and said, this was Leonardo's flaw. This was his weakness. He could not finish things. He was distracted. He lacked discipline. But I want you to think about this differently, because I think there is another way to see it. Imagine someone so curious, so endlessly, abundantly curious, that the world itself cannot provide enough problems to satisfy him. He solves one puzzle and immediately sees 3 more. He completes one painting, and already his mind is full of the next 10. He is not distracted. He is overflowing. He is a river that moves too fast for the banks to contain. And yes, this means some things were left unfinished. Some ideas were left as seeds rather than flowers. Some masterpieces existed only in his notebooks and in his mind. But does that make him a failure? No. 1,000 times no. It makes him human. beautifully, completely, perfectly human. And I think this is something we all need to hear, because in this world of social media and constant comparison and finished, polished, perfect results, we sometimes forget that the process matters, the trying matters, the asking and wondering and reaching and growing, all of it matters, even when the thing is not finished, even when the result is not perfect. You do not have to finish everything to be worthy. You do not have to be perfect to be valuable. You do not have to know all the English to be a real English speaker. You just have to keep going, little by little. Repeat slowly after me. Every step forward counts. Take a breath. Every step forward counts. Now say it with me. Every step forward counts. Yes. And again. Every step forward counts. Hold that truth in your heart, my friend. Every single moment you spend learning, every word you recognize, every phrase you understand, every sentence you say out loud, it all counts. It all adds up. It all matters. Every step forward counts. Now I want to tell you about a second story, a deeper story, one that I think will stay with you for a long time. This story takes place many years after the Last Supper. Leonardo is older now. He is in his 60s. His hair is long and white. His hands, once so precise and steady, have begun to shake a little. He has left Italy and traveled to France. He has been invited by the King of France, Francis I, to come and live at his royal court. The king admires Leonardo deeply. He gives him a beautiful house, a studio, a pension. That means a regular payment so that he can live comfortably and create freely. And Leonardo, finally, has peace. He has a place where he is valued, where he is respected, not for what he can produce, not for the paintings he can finish or the machines he can build, but simply for who he is, for his mind, for his presence. The king himself is said to have visited Leonardo often, not to ask for things, not to demand new paintings or new designs, but simply to talk, to sit with this extraordinary old man and listen to his thoughts. And Leonardo, for the first time in his long, complicated, brilliant life, allowed himself to simply be. He worked on his paintings when he wanted to. He filled his notebooks when ideas came to him. He walked in the gardens and watched the river and thought his great, slow, beautiful thoughts. And on the 2nd of May, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci died in his home in France, peacefully, at the age of 67. And the King of France, the most powerful man in the country, wept. He wept for this man, this curious, complicated, endlessly creative man, who had spent his whole life seeing the world more clearly than anyone else, who had given humanity paintings that still take our breath away, who had imagined inventions that would not exist for centuries, who had asked more questions than he had time to answer. The king wept. And I think if we allow ourselves to feel it, we might understand why. Because Leonardo was not just a painter or a scientist or an inventor. He was a reminder that the human mind is capable of extraordinary things, a reminder that curiosity is a kind of courage, a reminder that seeing the world with open, wondering, loving eyes is perhaps the most powerful thing any of us can do. Let me give you one more phrase before we move into our closing practice. The phrase is, it takes courage. It takes courage. Repeat slowly after me. It takes courage. Take a breath. It takes courage. Now say it with me. It takes courage. We use this phrase when we want to say that something is not easy, that doing it requires bravery, heart, strength. It takes courage to start something new. It takes courage to ask a question when you are not sure of the answer. It takes courage to speak English in front of other people when you are still learning.
It takes courage to press play on a video like this one and say, "Yes, today I will grow." You have that courage, my friend. You have had it all along. And now I want to speak to you very directly for a moment, very gently, very honestly. I know that learning English is not always easy for you. I know that there are days when the words feel too hard, when your accent feels too thick, when you listen to a native speaker and the words rush past you like water, and you feel like you cannot catch any of them. I know there are days when you feel embarrassed, when you try to say something in English and it comes out wrong and you feel the heat rise in your face and you wish you had stayed silent. I know there are days when you wonder, will I ever really speak English? Will it ever feel natural? Will it ever feel like mine? And I want to say to you, yes. Yes, it will.
Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but slowly, beautifully, gently, yes. Because every single language learner who ever became fluent went through exactly what you are going through right now. Every single one. The people who speak English beautifully today, they once sat where you were sitting. They once felt what you were feeling. And they kept going. And you are keeping going too, right now, in this moment. You are doing it. You are not behind. You are not slow. You are not failing. You are on the path, your own unique, beautiful, imperfect, perfect path. And that is exactly where you should be. Repeat slowly after me. I am on my own path. Take a breath. I am on my own path. Now say it with me. I am on my own path. And one more time with warmth. I am on my own path. Yes. Own that truth. Let it settle into you. You do not have to be on anyone else's path. You do not have to learn at anyone else's speed. You do not have to compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 15. You are on your own path, and it is a good path, a worthy path. Let me review some of the beautiful words and phrases we have learned together today. The first word was curious. Curious means always wanting to know more, always asking why and how and what. The second phrase was, I have always wondered. We use this when we want to express a long, gentle curiosity about something. The third word was perseverance. Perseverance means continuing even when it is difficult, resting when you need to, and then continuing. The fourth phrase was little by little. This means slowly, over time, things improve and grow. The fifth phrase was take your time. This is something kind people say when they want you to know there is no rush. The sixth phrase was every step forward counts. This reminds us that all our effort matters, even the small moments, even the imperfect attempts. And the eighth phrase, your own phrase now, the one I want you to carry with you today. I am on my own path. Say them all in your mind now, gently, like turning the pages of a beautiful book. Curious. I have always wondered. Perseverance. Little by little. Take your time. Every step forward counts. It takes courage. I am on my own path. Beautiful. And now let me bring everything together with one final, quiet thought. Leonardo da Vinci lived more than 500 years ago. He lived in a world we can barely imagine, a world without the technology we take for granted, without the freedoms many of us enjoy, without the global community of learners and creators that exists today. And yet, his questions are still our questions. Why do things move the way they do? How does light create beauty? What is the human body capable of? What can a single mind imagine if it is given the freedom to wander? His questions are our questions. And that means, in a very real way, we are all connected to him. Every time you look at something and wonder why, every time you feel curious about the world, every time you push yourself to understand something better, to see something more clearly, to learn something new, you are walking in his footsteps. You are part of that long, continuous, unbroken human story of curiosity and courage and creativity. And I think that is something worth remembering, not just today, not just in this lesson, but every day, every time you sit down to study, every time you feel discouraged, every time the path feels steep. Remember that you are part of something larger than yourself. You are part of the great human journey of learning and growing and reaching forward into the unknown. And that, my friend, is a genuinely beautiful thing. Now I want to say something to you that comes not from a script, not from a lesson plan, but from something very real. I am so proud of you. I do not say that lightly. I do not say that as a formula or a habit. I say it because you are here, because you chose to spend your time this way, because in a world full of noise and speed and distraction, you chose to slow down. You chose to listen. You chose to grow. That is not a small thing. That is a big, meaningful, important thing. And I want you to walk away from this lesson today feeling something. Not just smarter, not just more practiced in English, but feeling something deeper, feeling a kind of quiet confidence, a sense that you are on your way, that you are worthy, that you belong in the space of learning and growing and reaching for more. Because you do belong there. You have always belonged there. Before I let you go today, I want to invite you to do something small. Leave a comment below this video. It can be anything. One word, one sentence, a question, a thought, something this lesson made you feel. If you have a favorite phrase from today, write it down. If you feel something after listening to Leonardo's story, share it. If you want to practice your English in a safe, supportive space, this comment section is that space. I read every comment, every single one, and I love hearing from you. And if this lesson helped you in any way, if it made you feel calmer or more confident or more curious about English and about the world, then please share it with someone who might need it too. A friend who is learning English, a family member, a colleague, someone who might be sitting in a moment of discouragement and needs a gentle voice to remind them you are on your own path, and that is exactly where you should be. Please also, if you have not already, like this video and subscribe to this channel, because every week we come back here together. We slow down, we breathe, we listen, we learn, and we grow, little by little. This channel, Motivate to Speak, exists for one reason only: for you, for your growth, for your confidence, for your beautiful, imperfect, courageous journey with the English language. So subscribe, stay with us, and know that every time you come back, you are welcomed here, fully, warmly, without judgment. And now we have arrived at the end of our time together today. And I always feel a little gentle sadness at this moment, because I enjoy these conversations with you, these slow, quiet, beautiful conversations about language and life and the extraordinary stories of extraordinary people. But endings are also beautiful, because they mean something has been completed, something has been given and received, something has happened between us today that matters. You listened, you practiced, you breathed, you stayed. And because of that, something in you has shifted, even if only a little, even if only by the smallest, most delicate degree. Something is different now than it was when you pressed play. And little by little, those small shifts become something enormous. Remember Leonardo, standing in front of the empty wall, not yet painting, just seeing, just feeling, just preparing for the moment when everything would come together. That is you right now, standing before your own empty wall, your own beautiful, possibility-filled open future. And every lesson you take, every word you learn, every moment of patient practice is a brushstroke on that wall. You are creating something, my friend, something real, something yours. Keep going. Be curious. Be patient. Be kind to yourself. And remember, perseverance is not about never falling. It is about always, gently, lovingly rising again. Until next time, carry these words with you. Say them in the quiet moments. Say them when the path feels steep. Say them when you need to remember who you are and where you are going. I am patient with myself. I am on my own path. Little by little, Every step forward counts. It takes courage to do what you are doing, and you have that courage. You always have. Take good care of yourself, my friend. Rest well, eat well, be gentle with your heart and your mind, and the beautiful, growing, expanding soul that is you. And I will be right here, waiting for you, next time. See you in the next slow listening lesson, my friend.